Hello, everyone. So, I'm finally getting down to business here with these Eurovision rankings. As we all know, unfortunately, very sadly, Eurovision 2020 is not happening. I've made a whole video talking about all of my possible emotions that could be felt dealing with that whole thing. So it'll be linked in the description for those of you who want to hear my thoughts on that. I have covered in individual track reviews like probably about 32 or 33 out of the 41 songs. And so by the time that announcement came out a few weeks ago or so, I realized that like it was just unfortunate that like some of the songs just weren't going to get covered. But then I realized for me that in this ranking video, I will be touching on a lot of songs, either the ones in the bottom 10 or the ones in the top 10. There's quite a few that I didn't make an individual track review for, but I'll get a chance to talk about in this video. Otherwise, I pretty much covered everything. There are definitely a few songs that I didn't get to cover. I honestly am not lamenting not covering because I didn't think that I had much to say about them. It didn't necessarily mean I hated the song. It just meant that like I didn't really feel that much like good or bad to really want to make some form of video for it. And you know, had the contest been going on as scheduled, I would have gone through and I would have continued to film track reviews for all 41 songs. But with this change of plan, unfortunately, I got really tired. I got really tired of covering all 41 songs. And so I decided to, you know, take a little breather on that and then can focus more on doing these final ranking videos because I kind of want to move on from Eurovision on my channel a little bit. I got to be honest with you. My channel has been for like the last 2 months very much about Eurovision. And I love the Eurovision Song Contest, don't get me wrong. But this is the first year I've been covering it so much, and it's a lot. And I'm sure there are lots of people who subscribe to my channel who did not subscribe for Eurovision content. So I'm really sorry if you're putting up with this. Thank you for sticking around. I'm going to get back to sort of more regularly scheduled programming in April. I just need to get these two big videos out. And one of them I'm filming right now, and that is the bottom 10 songs, in my personal opinion, for the Eurovision 2020 Song Contest. The song contest that's never going to fully happen with these songs, with some of the artists next year, but not with these songs, sadly, RIP. But that doesn't mean we're still not going to rank and discuss them. So I will be posting in about another week or so, maybe even sooner, the top 10 video. And I decided, you know, I start with the worst and with the best. So we're going to be counting down from positions, I guess it would be position number 32 all the way down to position 41. This is a really controversial video, and I'm a little trepidatious about putting it out there because I don't necessarily like to make reviews where I'm just trashing stuff. At the same time, I want to share my opinion. That's what this channel's for, and that's what the whole point of music reviewing is for. But it is just my opinion, and taste is subjective, and people are going to really agree and disagree. So I'm worried that, you know, there's going to be quite a few unpopular opinions in this video. There's going to be some songs in this list that people are going to be like, gasp, shock. How could you put this song in the bottom 10? You have to remember, we all have different tastes in music, and a lot of that factors into this. I mean, we haven't, you know, of course, I normally rank the songs before the actual final anyway, but a lot of these songs we've only got studio cuts for, or we've only seen performed live, and we haven't really seen like a full stage production. We've just seen sort of like a shoddy one for their finals, national finals. Not to say that some of them are kind of low budget, like let's be real, some of the national finals. And so we haven't really seen the full potential of a lot of these songs had the contest been going forward. So, you know, keep that in mind. But this is what we're getting this year, and this is what we have to judge and to rank. So without further ado, I'm going to get into this. By the way, just a little disclaimer, I'm really sorry. I'm not going to be able to include audio snippets of any of ththese songs in these videos, just due to copyright. I'm getting to the point with my channel where I can't make videos where I can't make money off of them. So please forgive me. I'm sorry that I'm not including audio snippets. My favorite of the least favorite songs of mine, so to speak. You know, keep in mind, I think before I get into this, it's really hard with, you know, this Eurovision contest and others in the past as well, where there's like a lot of songs that are really tough to rank. It's like, what makes this song better than this one, better than this? It's really easy to kind of get your top 10, but then maybe even the top 15. But then once you get below that, it's sort of, it's like, there's just this middle pool. And then of course there's your least favorites. The bottom 5 is usually pretty easy to place. But keep in mind that, you know, with some of these placements, it doesn't mean that I don't like the song, especially if it's like spots 8 through 10. It just didn't do enough for me to like get higher up in the list. And it's really hard with the middle section of this list to sort of say what song ranked where. And I will also point out that when I release my top 10 video, I will also put out a video where you will get to see my full 41 song ranking. So you'll get to see my rankings of all those songs in the middle that I'm not talking about the order for, and I'll be just showing audio. There won't be any of me talking for that. So that'll be like a non-monetized copyright ridden video that I will be putting out with that. I just didn't want to put it out yet because it's going to spoil this list. So, like I said, at number 10, San Marino's entry, Freaky by Senhit. I don't know how divisive this choice is going to be for in the bottom 10. You know, this was a song that I feel as though, like, when it first came out, I was so enamored by the colorful music video. There was, like, everything under the sun graphically placed into this video. And I think that novelty sort of had its first impact and then just, like, really died down after a day. I came back to it and I just felt like this song was all flash, but very kind of little substance. And I think that Senhit, again, we haven't seen the song performed live. I have no idea what her vocal capabilities are in live vocal and everything, but judging off of what we've seen, I feel like this song is a little all over the place. And like I said, it's starting to sort of wear on me. It really switches gear, you know, like I didn't expect the song to turn into such a disco type style of song. San Marino really likes to get us dancing. You know, they really do kind of like to up the campy element of Eurovision. And I really do love that. Last year, you know, was this year's entry better than last year's? That's a really tough call for me. I do think this year's entry is saying is it better or worse is hard because they're kind of at the same level, but I like them for different reasons or I hate them for different reasons. I don't want to say hate, but like I feel like Serhat last year, it was extra campy. It was definitely extra cheesy, but it also felt more classic. There was something that just sort of fit more like a glove with that song. Whereas this song, Freaky, feels like it's trying a lot harder to be something big, but it just doesn't quite hit the mark the same way. However, I don't necessarily find it quite as cheesy of a song, maybe, as Say Na Na Na. But that might be an unfair comparison because at the end of the day, lyrically, they're both pretty cheesy songs. So I think I'm just thinking Say Na 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 is cheesier because of the Say Na 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 part, which is very kind of like sing-song, kind of like gibber nonsense lyrics, you know? Which is fine, but I'm just saying it's nothing serious, it's nothing to phone home about. And that's how I feel about San Marino's entry this year, honestly. Interesting art direction with the music video for sure. I don't really understand what the art direction for that video has to do with that song whatsoever. I just don't. Again, I think we're just throwing a lot of stuff. We're throwing a lot of paint at a wall and we're just seeing what sticks. And yeah, it just doesn't really feel like there was any form of direction with this song. At number 9, Croatia. Damir Kedshow with Divni Vietre. I really kind of went back and forth on the positioning for this one, but ultimately it did land in my bottom 10 just because if you've seen my track review of this song, I just feel like this song is so dated and something we've heard so many times before that it just, for my personal liking, does not stand out. It was one of the hardest songs for me to remember after a first listen, and of any of the songs we probably got this year. And being memorable is important. You know, sometimes you're memorable in a bad way, but it's definitely not good when you're just a song that you can easily forget about. And I mean, I do appreciate that it's in Croatian. I think that I appreciate that, and I would like to see it stay in Croatian. But I still feel as though this song doesn't just have enough going for it in terms of dynamic, you know, soft to powerful. I talk about in my track review how he's just so full on the whole time, kind of belting these lyrics out to you, and it's so overdramatic and it's very stylized to be very classic and vocal, and I understand that appeal. It's just not really sitting that well with me. kudos to Croatia. They really do kind of try and be a little more on the Broadway opera side of things and the musical theater side of things. And I think I'm showing a little bit of my bias towards musical theater. I find musical theater to be very hit or miss for me, and I'm not the hugest musical theater fan, so I feel like that's part of the reason why these kinds of songs just don't really jump out at me so much. Okay, so this was like a last minute switch. There's a song that I did have in my bottom 10 that was at position number 8 that I have switched out for an earlier higher position, which so many of you will be grateful for. So I won't reveal what it was. You'll see when I do my 41 ranking video. But at number 8, we have Finland with Axel, his song Looking Back. I realized that I had Looking Back earlier placed like position number 28 or 29. So, it had just missed the bottom 10. And I realized after second thought that this song is actually a little worse than I think I'd originally pegged it. This song is not delivering anything, really. Let's be real. I mean, it's a guy at a microphone delivering a very sort of placid performance and a very placid song. I think I was kind of more drawn to the sentiment of the song, and I do appreciate a sort of more soft male vocal delivery. He's not bombarding you like Demi Arquette's show is. He's just sort of like singing what appears to be from the heart, and in a very much more melancholic way, which is always a little more up my alley. But this song is very much kind of mid to low tempo pop song that is just there to fill 3 minutes. It doesn't feel in any way, or I'm like, it's a song that feels like it's meant to exist for itself, for its own sake. This song feels like it's lyrics put to some melody that was last minute constructed. And so for me, it just feels like very flat. It's got the same issue that Finland had last year, which, last year Finland went definitely the more EDM route with Darude, but it had the exact same problem. And I'm really disappointed in Finland in the last few years. Because I feel like in 2019 and now in 2020, they have just completely dropped the ball on terms of their quality and of sending anything of real sort of magnetic energy. They're just sort of wanting to send these filler tracks with maybe some modern production, but the modern production is not all that, So it's not even that slick. It just feels, honestly, it feels actually pretty dated. And it feels very watered down in so many ways. His vocals, the dynamics of this song, it's all very watered down. I appreciate the sentiment of it. I can relate to it. I'm sure so many of us can. And I think I initially gravitated towards that a little bit more. But after reconsidering, I realized that this song definitely belongs in the bottom 10. And I think most people will agree. In fact, I have a feeling a lot of people are going to have this as their worst song. Oh yeah, my number 1 is going to be very controversial. Okay, so at number 7, UK. Okay, United Kingdom, James Newman with My Last Breath. There was a lot of initial hype around this track, and if you've watched my track review, you've heard my thoughts on this, so I'm not going to beat the dead horse, so to speak, but I don't think this song is all that for the UK. I actually think that this song is, in my personal opinion, a step backward. I see how people think it's a step in the right direction because it is more modern. It's definitely something you would hear from Ed Sheeran on the radio in 2020. I get that. People thought that, the dated, power ballads of the past with the Swedish songwriters was, a losing move. And I still think that, this is another form of a losing move because you are delivering a song that is just so forgettable to me. I mean, it's more the chorus that irks me so much. My last breath. Oh, it's such a stadium filler kind of thing. And I get why it was done. Again, maybe it's just my musical taste coming into it, but the demographic for this song feels like it's skewing to being as generic as possible so that it can appeal to as many different demographics as possible. And I understand when Eurovision songs do that, they want to appeal to kids, they want to appeal to older people. And this song has that appeal. It's got that campfire all come together now. And of course, the lyrics are, get up and make the most out of life because you never know what's going to happen. And with the music video, I mean, it makes the song more dramatic than it really is. Like, let's be real, the music video is overselling this song, which I think distracts us from the fact that if you have this song just sung in front of like nothing, like just so. The problem with Eurovision is you've got so many songs that if you take away the whole spectacle and you take away the visuals, it's just very, much the song. And can the song on its own really deliver? And I think the big issue with these songs is we forget that if you take away those amazing visuals, this song is very, very tepid. This song is very, very. It's not even middle of the road for me. It's just very, very bland, and it's over and done with, and you're just like, okay, didn't really feel much from that. But again, I just don't really resonate so much with that sound. And then, like I said, there's just not really enough happening vocally in the chorus that makes this song feel like it's actually endemic. I get why it would be endemic to most people, but I don't like cop out choruses. I don't really like that sort of country pop amalgamation that Ed Sheeran has been flirting with. I'm not the hugest Ed Sheeran fan to begin with, particularly Ed Sheeran's more popular pop songs. Those songs to me are extremely bland and generic. And I'm also, when you do the country vocal thing, like it's a bad mix for me. I don't, James Newman has a great kind of raw, kind of smoky voice, and I will, appreciate that on its own, but it doesn't mesh well with this song for me very well. It's just not a song I would seek out, and that's why, again, it's my personal choice. I'm sorry. I think the UK, at number 6, France, Tom Leb, The Best in Me. Again, another one that I think everyone is going to have in their bottom 10, probably in their bottom 5. Part of the problem with France, and I talk about this in my track review, is that we're all just a little bit bitter about the cancellation of Destination Eurovision, which was one of their huge national selection competitions that they had to select the singer to go to Eurovision, and they did away with that to send a song by an artist that is so middle of the road and so outdated and so much like everything we've heard before in the ballad territory of Eurovision. That's not even fully in French. It's definitely a French-English affair that just does not sell that drama very well. Tom Leb is an amazing vocalist. I'm not saying, that Tom Leb is a bad choice to represent France. They could have given him a much better song. And, this is a Jan Lundvik, song. So we have the same kind of melodic structure, the same kind of chords, and it's so copy and paste from other songs we've heard. And if people were giving the UK grief last year, well, France is definitely the one facing the real brunt of that ire this year. He had this amazing opportunity, and they performed on the Eiffel. He performed on the Eiffel Tower when the song was released, and I feel for it because, to be completely honest, and this is a very Disney song, if I had never heard Eurovision before, and this was my first time looking at the contest and hearing Eurovision stuff, I probably would actually like this song a lot more than I do. I think it's because I know the context of the rest of this contest, and because I've heard so many songs like it before from Eurovision that I think are stronger, like Bigger Than Us, which we're not all ready for that conversation. Most of you ain't ready for that, but anyway. Bigger Than Us had the real swell, and it picked us up right away. It didn't wait too long till the end of the song to finally triumphantly swell. And The Best in Me waits too long. So by the end of the 3 minutes, you're just sort of like, bathroom break. It also just does come across a bit inauthentic. Everything about this song, I think the fact that it's sung in English, it really just feels like, Tom Leb had nothing to do with the writing. Even if he did have a little bit to do with it, it feels like there's no Tom Leb in this song whatsoever. It feels so much like a commercial product, and it's made for Disney, and everything just isn't really an authentic. And that's really hard when you've got a song that's supposed to be about so much emotion. You can see it in his eyes as he's delivering. He's really trying to sell this song, but I don't think it's a great match for Tom Leb. I don't think it matches his musicality and his stage presence well. And even though unfortunately this would have automatically qualified, I could have very well likely seen France getting possibly last place this year. So this was a good year for the contest to be canceled for France. But that's what's so unfair, is because France saw the reaction, and now they have the upper hand in the potential of sending something completely different next year to steal the thunder from artists that were doing really well this year. Not entirely fair, but it is what it is. At number 5, I haven't talked about this song yet. Portugal, Medo de Sentir by Elisa. This was the winner of the Portuguese national selection, and we've only got this really sort of, I think, shoddy live performance footage of this song. We do have a studio version, but you're not missing much by skipping this song. I'm really, really sorry. Uh, the song is called Afraid of Feeling in English. And lyrically, I mean, I have nothing against this song. I think lyrically it's wearing its heart on its sleeve, talking about being afraid to love again, feeling as though you've failed in the past with love and with how you've handled so many situations and how you keep self-sabotaging and then you're sort of doubting yourself all the time and you keep wondering, like when am I going to break out of these bad habits and when will I accept real change in my life? And I know that once I can overcome this, then I'll be able to truly feel the emotions of love again and like truly connect. So the interpersonal journey that this song is going on, I'm 100% down with. But the problem is, at the end of the day, most of us don't speak Portuguese, and we're being sold this song on the stage. And Elisa just does not deliver this really well. Again, maybe it was just a bad night for her, but her vocals are all over the place with this performance. There's a lot of pitchy notes. It's just an underwhelming song to begin with. I think that, O Jardim comes to mind from 2 years ago, and everyone thought that was a sleeper. This song is just as watered down and like dull as O Jardim, except at least O Jardim had really interesting ambient instrumentals to tie it all together. This song has nothing instrumentally that's interesting. It's an orchestral song, so it's very bland in that department. Again, another song probably similar with the Croatia entry that the melody just put me to sleep. It did not really stimulate or excite or provide any sort of imprint to me that I would call back upon. It was very forgettable, really hard to remember what the song was. There was nothing about the melody that stood out, very flatliney. I'm sorry, Elisa. This just song is not working melodically, and the staging and the performance of it is also not working from what we've seen. I'm really unfortunately placing Portugal so low because they're just really underselling themselves this year. It's so sad because last year Portugal was robbed from the finals with a song that had real spark and creativity to it and power, and people were just not ready for that. They weren't ready for that. But this song should not have qualified in the semifinals. I would have been so, so shocked if this song had qualified. Um, at number 4, we have Moldova. We have Natalia Gordienko with Prison. If you see my track review of this song, I state the reasons why I automatically got a bad feeling about this track and why I did not expect this song to do well this contest. The performance in the studio is oversaturated with production that doesn't really serve the song very well. It drowns out her vocals, it drowns everything out, to be honest. It desaturates everything to a very sort of synthetic, emotionless mess. And the live performance for the Moldovan national selection was a bit of a miss. The staging was awkward. Her performance and charisma on stage was a little off. She seemed a little too uncanny on screen, like she was smiling in weird parts during the performance of the song. She didn't really seem like she had a good grasp on the notes. Everything just felt very kind of like last minute with this track. And the drama is so high octane, but it's like, oh my God, it's like cringeworthy, to be honest. This song is trying way, 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 way too hard. And what's really underselling this song is the production element to it. I just think, again, like everything in the studio was thrown at this song and synth-wise, and you bungled what could possibly be something that's decent, And that's really all I have to say. I think most people will be in agreement on where this song is placed. Okay, so at number 3, this is where I'm going to get into a lot of trouble, and I apologize in advance, but I have to place at my 3rd worst position for this year, Hasta la Vista by Hurricane, the Serbian entry for Eurovision. So many people are hyping this song up, and the one kind of Eurovision track review that I have put up this year that has not really gone down well, let's just put it that way, with viewers would be my review for Hurricane. I have gotten a lot of comments about, negative feedback. towards my thoughts on that song. Obviously, it's tough because obviously people who are going to be searching out that song are going to be people who are fans of the song most likely. So it's going to hurt to see someone not be such a fan. I get it. Trust me, I feel the same way about other songs I really loved at Eurovision that I feel like other people just don't quite get. But at the end of the day, it's not my problem. Sorry, it's my opinion. Um, Water under the bridge. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I just do not get it. This is such a mess of a song that is trying so hard to be anthemic, be this. It's so trying so hard to be what Eleni Ferreira was 2 years ago, and it just does not deliver, in my opinion. Um, Less is more when it comes to songs like this sometimes. You know, you can still have the high octane, you can still have the dramatic basses, you can still have the dramatic rhythm. But with the instrumentation, when you just go every which way with it, you know, this song is a bit Eastern, it's a bit Latin, it's a bit EDM, it's a bit, you know, I mean, I don't know what to think about this song and where it's going. And it's very Pussycat Dolls. It's very sexual, which isn't necessarily my cup of tea. I gotta be honest with you. I'm sorry I'm such a prude. I do appreciate, you know, a fun, sexy, like I said, a Cyprus from 2 years ago entry where the choreography is on point and it's just slaying the dance floor. This song, to me, the choreo felt a little messy. It felt like I said the girls on stage didn't seem to have quite the energy behind them or the synchronicity to really sell this song to me the way I'd like it to be sold. And I'm just not feeling it. I just I don't know really what else to say at the end of the day. Um, I'm not really vibing with this song, and it's just it's again it's the same issue with Moldova for me, where just like everything was thrown in the production for this track, and it's all lost. Their vocals are horribly drowned out in the mix, and that's something that really I think kills a dance vibe when a song does not have good highs and lows in the mixing, because a lot of the time it's about that bass coming out and being like really infectious, and this song's bass is so drowned out by all of the instrumentation, and so we don't really feel the actual tempo of the song. We know it's a high tempo song, but we don't really feel it as strongly. You know, we've got the horn section coming in, which is reminding us of that, but the horn sections can't really save this. I'm sorry, it's just like I said, it's a bit derivative too. I mean, I feel like, you know, in Eurovision, we've seen a lot of stuff like this before, and we've seen a lot of stuff like this in pop music. So, again, it's just not my cup of tea. Sorry. Okay, at number two, second worst song of Eurovision 2020 goes to Cyprus. Sandro with Running. Again, this is a song I have not covered in an individual track review yet, and I'm going to be talking about now, but I'm 100% okay not making an individual track review for it, because as soon as I heard this song, I was like, okay, moving on. Oh my goodness. Again, we haven't really seen this performed live. Sandro's a really handsome guy, but my initial reaction was, where's the chorus? Where is the chorus? We got that one line of "I keep on running," and then we have this vocal distortion breakdown. We do get a bit more house, which is a little old school. And you know, I'm always down for a house moment, but I feel as though this song is completely hollow, I guess is the best way for me to describe it. Um, you know, I can sense with his vocal delivery that there's some form of emotional outcry going on in this song, but I feel like that gets drowned out. It's kind of strange because it's like this is supposed to be an uplifting song, and then it turns into a club track, and I'm not really seeing how the two kind of gel really well together. Um, it can work, but I just don't think it works in this scenario for me. Because I was really thrown off by, honestly, the sort of more club house drop part of this song. And it feels like it goes on for so long, too. Like, it feels like that's the bulk of this track. And so that really, really just leaves a sour taste in my mouth. The music video kind of mirrors that. It's very kind of psychedelic, but in a very sort of like unoriginal way. Unoriginal kind of psychedelia that's just kind of like secondhand to me. At least Senhit's song has like its own shtick to it. It's kitsch, but it's fun kitsch. The Cyprus music video is not kitschy at all. It's very try hard. It reminds me of Nick Jonas, and that's never a good thing. Nick Jonas's music is generally pretty hollow and synthetic, and the platitudes are very sort of like general in the lyrics, and then it sort of turns into a club moment, and then you're just like, oh, okay, well, at the end of the day, this is just sort of a dumb pop song, even though it's pretending that it's taking itself all seriously and talking about some deep issue. Not really feeling that kind of connection with the like actual lyrics in this track. I'm just not really feeling it. I don't really feel the drama of what he's running. What is he running from? I don't know. I mean, I get it, but it's like not really doing enough for me to really be sold by it. Like I said, it's hard. I mean, I'm trying to justify why these songs are so low, and I'm also just sort of remembering that a lot of it's just because songs are low on this list because they're just songs I don't genuinely vibe with. I don't have a need to listen to them again. I feel as though I've heard them once and I've already heard it in my head a million times. I don't need to come back to it. So I personally would not have liked to have seen Cyprus qualify. I think that Cyprus really shot themselves in the foot this year, and better luck next year. Let's just put it that way. Let's get to the most controversial pick here of the litter. Before I say this entry, I am again really, really sorry to offend people who are a fan of this song. This is a song that I don't think is going to be in very many people's bottom 10, but I got to be honest with how I feel and my taste, and that's just putting me where this was a very easy decision for me, to be completely honest with you. As soon as I heard this song, I pretty much knew where this song was going to be placed. So the entry I am talking about is from Denmark. Ben and Tan with their song Yes. Does that title and expression of that say enough for you? This is a song that, gosh, how do I frame this in an eloquent way? I mean, I don't know. I get why people are drawn to this. I understand a feel-good song. I get it. It's the same kind of issue that I have a little bit with the UK entry. It's very Ed Sheeran. No one is denying that. This definitely sounds like an Ed Sheeran demo from 2014. It definitely sounds like a demo because it sounds like this was not a song that was meant to ever really be a single. It was just meant to be a fun. You know how on albums there's like closing songs sometimes that are like B-sides that are just like uplifting and fun, but they're not really meant to be that serious. That's what this song sounds like. There's nothing about this song to me that sounds like Eurovision. Like this would be a good idea to send. It's two, individuals at the guitar, one on the microphone, harmonizing off of each other, trying to really sell this very campfire, feel good, but very, at the end of the day, lackluster song that doesn't go anywhere with any sort of emotion. What really, at the end of the day, drives me nuts about this song is I just hate the chorus. Say yes, say yes, say yes. There's no real movement. There's a lot of repetition, and there's a lot of going up and down in the same kind of range of notes. Like if you listen to the chorus, and I'm really trying to point and drive home why I don't like this song. Think my heart is beating through my chest. The notes are all in a similar, stack, similar range of each other, and they feel afraid to sort of stray and do something more interesting. If for example, think my heart is beating through my chest, I wouldn't like if the notes really tried to reach up somewhere, and I would find this song pleasurable to listen to. But because the notes are so afraid of going anywhere, and because the song really does just feel like it's a, like a last minute thing your camp counselor made at your youth church group mission retreat to a beach somewhere, and how the youth pastor is like getting out the guitar and is like, hey everyone, we're going to sing a really fun song about saying yes to love. We're going to say yes to Jesus. We're going to say yes to God's love, and we're all going to shout that yes part together. It's got a bit of a drinking song feel to it as well. I feel like it's something you could sing at a pub and everyone would like say yes and take a shot. I feel like the song was made for that environment. This is again a dissonance thing that I have where it's like, maybe that is a good thing for Eurovision because Eurovision kind of is a big party and Eurovision is about songs that people can sing when they play drinking games. And that's not me and that's not what I want from Eurovision, but I understand that it's a part and parcel of the whole contest. So who am I to really say that it doesn't belong? And like I said, at the end of the day, I see why it's a part of it. We've got a real cornucopia of style. We got some real diversity in terms of musical and influence and genre. And in a way, it kind of well rounds out the contest. There's always going to be a song like this that's sort of just, again, it's sort of the issue I had with Norway last year, though Norway's entry was leagues ahead of this song, even though I wasn't a big fan of Norway's last year, and I didn't understand the hype behind it. It was the same sort of thing where it's like people just like something that's uplifting and fun, especially, in our current climate. I will admit to that. So it's a yes pause. It's a positive minded song about love and will she say yes and will you marry me and like that sort of youthful Ed Sheeran jubilant, running in the beach kind of energy. Sing along with your friends at a house party. And that's what it is. That's what it's, a song for communal fun time. But it's not anything of substance. It's not anything of, actual kind of meat. And like I said, more importantly, in terms of the actual sonic construction and the composition, it's not very interesting to listen to. In fact, it's pretty grating and pretty annoying. I feel like this would be a song that I would be very annoyed by the chorus after hearing it performed a lot in the semifinals. And then, God forbid, this song probably would have qualified. It probably would have qualified, and I would have been super pissed, and I would have, been the only person who was actually upset that this song stole the place of another one that probably deserved it more. And the only thing I think is that juries would have probably not really been a big fan. I think juries would have overlooked this one. And that would have definitely helped it not, do as well because, gosh, I mean, I've seen a lot of people put this song in their top 10. That's what I mean by like, this is so controversial. People are not going to get why I don't like this song so much, but I just stated my reasons why. The song, the notes just don't go anywhere. The repetition of it is just annoying. It's shouty. It's very much a party drinking song in my mind, and it just conjures up a sort of like cliquish, sort of annoying Ed Sheeran annoyingness, and it's just not my style. It's not my style. It's very bland country pop. And so, sorry, it's my least favorite. Okay, well, maybe that wasn't so bad. I don't know. Maybe I haven't completely annihilated some of your faves, but those are my bottom 10 songs. I will link in the description a playlist that has, a lot of those songs. I go into more detail talking about what I like or don't like about them. The only songs, like I said, in this list that I don't have linked to track reviews are Denmark, Cyprus, and San Marino. And Finland. So you heard it here first in this video on my thoughts on those tracks. So, and again, please just remember this is just my opinion. Let me know in the comments what your opinion is, because I really would like to hear your arguments as to why I'm wrong. No, I really would, because I'm always interested to hear other people's perspectives. We all learn and we all kind of share our thoughts. But I'm assuming I'm going to get a lot of hate on this video. I'm just going to assume it, and that's okay. My top 10 video will be a lot more positive, and I'm really excited to talk about my favorite 10 songs. And that's what's going to be coming next. So stay tuned for that. And then, like I said, alongside that, you'll get to see my full ranking video where you'll get to see all the songs ranked in the middle as well. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all stay safe out there and healthy. Stay positive. I know it's hard. Stay at home. And we're going to enjoy and celebrate the Eurovision Song Contest, regardless of whatever they do for some facsimile of it in May. These songs, I need to do my ranking. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you weren't too offended. Anyway, peace, love, and light to you all. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.